why does the most recent Auditor General's report show that between July 2019 and July 2020 there was a reduction of the number of nurses of 112 nurses over that year?
The Minister for Education. Order. Members on my left. The Minister for Education has the call.
The member for Ghana has been taking hints from the Leader of the Opposition and cherry-picks the information that suits whatever story they're telling. The fact is that this is a government that has invested more than $2 billion extra in the health system. This is a government that's invested more than $1 billion extra in infrastructure. The situation that we received from the Labor Party when they departed office, when they departed Treasury benches, when the member for West Torrens ceased to be the Treasurer, when the member for Ghana ceased to be the Assistant Minister for Health, were they to deliver on the settings in place, there would now be $2 billion less in the health system and $1 billion less in infrastructure upgrades currently underway. So while the member for Ghana can pick and choose the numbers where he draws from, the fact is there are more doctors, more nurses, and indeed more facilities and more budget in the health system. There are more ambulance officers in the health system. There is indeed an increase as a result of this government's work. The Minister for Health is doing a very, very stellar job in this area, and this government is proud of the record of what we are creating in the context of dealing with the global pandemic on the one front, and also equally in the context of dealing with the situation, the system that was left to us by our predecessors. It's impossible to detach the circumstances in March 2018 as a result of 16 years of Labor administration of health in this state from the reality that we're in now. Because, of course, with the introduction of the increased investment that this government has put, the introduction of increased investment in infrastructure, the expansion of every single, pretty much I think every single emergency department in the network. The Leader of the Opposition says no worries, as if he wasn't part of the government that was selling off the repat.
Minister will not respond to interjection.
The Minister for Health in the government that presided over a decision to have an emergency department at Flinders Medical Centre that the former minister has identified was too small.
Order. The Minister resume his seat. The member for West Torrens on a point of order.
Standing Order 98. The Minister is debating the answer. The question was very specific about reductions listed in the Auditor General's report, sir. If you could come back to that about the reduction in nursing numbers as stated in the Auditor General's report.
The question was quite specifically by reference to and whether went out properly with the benefit of leave. The question was accepted by the Minister and asked a question in relation to a stated reduction of 112 between July 2019 and July 2020, according to that report. I'm listening carefully to the Minister's answer, which is responding directly to that question and providing, in my view, relevant context for the time being. So I don't uphold the point of order. The Minister has the call. The Minister.
Thank you, sir. The government came to office in 2018. And indeed, in the time from the 2018 to 2020, increase of well in excess of 286 more. 286 more nurses and midwives from when we came to office. So from when the Leader of the Opposition was the Health Minister, and from when the member for Ghana, who doesn't want to hear this part of the answer because he was the Assistant Health Minister, I corrected my record last week when he was offended when I called him the Advisor for Transforming Health. It turns out he was actually the Assistant Minister. From that time to 2020, the date the member chooses, an increase of more than 280. An increase of more than 280, delivered under this government as opposed to when they were in office. The Labor Party is terrified of anybody having a look at their record on health. 16 years they're in government, and yet the Labor Party's leader has been protected against, sir. It's like they are ashamed that they were ever in government.
His seat. The member for West Torrens on a point of
order. Standing on number 98, I think it's clear now the Minister is debating the answer.
The member for West Torrens again raises a point of order on debate, relying on Standing Order 98. I've ruled in relation to the relevant context within which the Minister is providing the answer. In my view, the Minister continues to be providing an answer that is both relevant and responsive to the question. So I don't uphold the point of order. The Minister has the call. The Minister.
Thank you, sir. Once again, the member is cherry-picking where he'd like his data to come from. I think it is relevant. I think it is entirely relevant to identify that this government came to office in 2018 and we were confronted with a set of circumstances which we have worked day and night for 3 years to address, to improve the situation of the health system for the people of South Australia, just as in every other range of government services. We've done it at a time of pandemic, sir. We've done it at a time of extraordinary disruption, and we have done it despite the fact that those opposite tried to destroy the health system with their transforming health agenda and then left us in a situation that needed significant remedy. And that is the work that we are doing, that is the work we continue to do, and that is the work that we are proud of. Yes, there is more work to do, but we were left with a hell of a lot of work when we came in 2018.